Hello, everyone. This is Yona, and welcome to your Kuromatoki's interactive podcast. Let's say a go. So, honestly speaking, but before we're gonna move it on to a very special topic, that I have to, should we say, I have to different, I have to welcome you guys in a different tone and stuff, my speaking voice, because not only that we are still mourning because of Pope Francis passing last April 21, but also we have to prepare and for the papal conclave, and the conclave itself is just around the corner, so we have to tone down a little bit just for this special episode. And this episode is should we say, this is not the first time that we actually do that in YKIP, because we actually did that, or rather to do so back in episode 0. So, marking the first time that we had 2 special episodes in the history of YKIP. And if you guys are wondering why I didn't have the recording box, I don't know what it's called, the V8 sound card that I use in every single episode since season 2. Well, that's again because we have to. No, not necessarily that, because again we are still mourning regarding Pope Francis passing, and we have to set this down to shove this just for this special episode. And technically, this is the episode 3.5 of the 5th anniversary season of YKIP. By doing so, in pay respects to the late pontiff, but also to signaling for the cardinals who are participating in the conclave. And everything will we have to get a lot of that, yeah. And I think that our random bubbles will be risked, or rather will be back to normal in the next episode. All right, so for now we have to because what, as I said, that we have to honor and appreciate the legacy of the people's pope, which is Pope Francis. So of course, as we all know, that Julio Mario Bergoglio is the 266th Pope and the successor to Saint Peter in the Roman Catholic Church. And he's also the Bishop of Rome. Yeah, that's in LLAG, guys. And he broke a lot of records, because Pope Francis was the first non-European Pope in more than 1,000 years. And he's also the first Jesuit Pope and the first from Latin America. And the Pope himself was from Argentina. So that's the record. And this is a remarkable shake-up for the entire Vatican, because he not only doing stuff that were departed from the usual stuff that we've seen if we compare to the previous popes, like instead of one of the examples is, instead of living in an apostolic palace like his predecessors, but instead residing at a in an apartment apartment rather. So in the and only then is Domus Santa Marta, you know, Casa Santa Marta. I'm sorry, correct me if I'm wrong. And which is a few meters away from the St. Peter's Basilica. And we thought, and one more thing that he, instead of using the luxurious cars, he refers to commute. He refers to rather transport, much like the most of us. And instead of there are lots of stuff, and many more. We need too many to mention though. So yeah, there are a lot of stuff that have been breaking records anyway. So too many to mention, by the way. And when for the moment that we saw this guy for the first time after the papal conclave in 2013, he came out to the balcony of St. Peter's Square, and everyone got cheered. And when he came out, he was not wearing the mozzarella as mazzetta rather. I'm sorry, sorry about that. In like not like the was world, but the previous was. But I'm saying he's just wearing the right cascock and stuff and mitre, and we have his silver Pentecost. The one who was wearing one that he wore when he was a cardinal, and he still uses, and he was still wearing that when he became a pope, instead of the usual gold one, the gold cross. Again, that were used by the previous popes, but yeah, no, he never did it. He would, and instead he still wore this until his passing. And for the past 12 years, he proved to everybody that that he became a powerhouse, not necessarily powerhouse, but a very extraordinary person. And what from what it is saw in his videos, that he cares for everybody regardless if you're a Catholic or not. And the simplicity, in spite of being one of the how we call it, the most influential people on earth, but he chose to sure we say he chose to be humble. He chose to be simple, and he follows the way of Jesus Christ, and like being in a pastoral way. And this is something that has never done ever before. Even in my lifetime, this is something that has never done. This is something that has never ever done before. So, yeah, he actually hold on. And then he traveled for more than 40 countries, including the Philippines, and he visited here in 2015. So at the start of the year, can you imagine? At the mid of court, at the start of that year, can you imagine that? He visited Manila first, and then he traveled to Leyte to comfort the victims of Typhoon Yolanda, or Haiyan, as what it called, to comfort and to celebrate mass there. And for the final day, I think for the final day of that paper visit here, there were 6 million people, or rather 7 million people attended what is called the biggest papal gathering ever have in modern history. So I was one of them, and I remembered the time that when the news that so okay, I'll give you a little little personal experience regarding that. So, 10 years ago, so I was 22. I was about to turn 22 at that time. And when the news went that when Pope Francis was coming to the Philippines, I was like, oh, I was excited because I was quite excited, and I was being quite busy doing geeky stuff, but at the same time, um, I was very excited to see, see a Pope, having another Pope coming to the Philippines for technically fourth time, because the last Pope that visited here was Pope Saint John Paul II, 20 years earlier. So, but this is huge new to me, and I think I was told myself, oh, this is gonna be an exciting event. It's gonna be the biggest stage of my lifetime, something like that. And during the last day of when I saw it on TV, we watched TV together. My mom, of course, sumalangit nawa. So my mom and my adopted, or rather our foster guardian, that we will watch TV together about the coverage of Pope Francis' visit here. And I saw, okay, it was very humble, he was a nice guy. And I thought that, oh, this Pope was, I don't know, I can't say that he was so incredible that so many people had impact many people's lives. So I thought it was cool, and I thought that I would wanna see him. Yeah, yeah, and this could be the biggest mom. What this very very nice, very unbelievable, doing those unbelievable times I did. And I remembered, I think on the last day, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was the last day on his visit here, that we have plans to go to the Luneta for that. And we actually woke up around just before 5 a.m. I can't remember, but I remember that, oh, it was I don't know if the weather was so, surely rain or pouring over rain like that, and we were soaked out. We were so soaked, and there are too many people around here. So yeah, there are too many people in Luneta that back in the day, back then, and we thought that oh yeah, this is actually the time that, oh my god, I was like, it's the Pope, oh my gosh, no, like and then, oh my god, where? I was like where? I already actually walked in the soaking away, and unfortunately being able to see him, but I heard cheers, loud cheers, raging cheers, like it spread like wildfire. This is actually bigger than any other concert that I've seen recently. Sorry, but 6 million people. Can you imagine? It's a big number, and I'm proud to be part of that history. This is something I can't forget in my lifetime, and uh so yeah, it was a huge experience to me. And I remember then we see Professor Bro, I mean, on the TV. So back in here in our headquarters back in the day, that we watched Pope Francis riding on Pope Mobile, and everybody's screaming, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I'm wondering, I wish I was there. Something like that. That time I was in college, and that time, when social media was, decent, quote unquote decent. So yeah, and this is actually one welcome to him, and very nice to see him riding a moped even on the screens. But yeah, it's actually different when you see it personally. No, anyway, yun, and I heard that At one time, um, it's just like actually cool, greatest moments when you see that. Oh, you have a pope visiting your country, and this is even though whether it's on off screen, it's important that you be part of that history. It's like, yeah. I was like, oh my god, it's nice. It's so gentle, and it's just, you know, part of it. You're being part of that history and such. And I watched the homily and on the celebrating mass rather a late day. It was really moving. I was really resonated on what he says on his homily and how to resonate of the people in Leyte who were just slowly rise again, rose again from the Typhoon Yolanda onslaught, and but a lot of people, there are more than 3,000 people have been perished, or rather mercilessly perished by that typhoon, and it's one of the uh worst typhoon struck casualties in the history in the Philippines. So when Pope Francis visited Leyte, hold on, uh, and the people or the guys in the Vatican and they were saying he wanted to push, he wanted to spend for a few days. They said, nah, nope, I wanna. And the Pope said, no, I wanna go there. I just need comfort for that. Something like that. It was a very nice gesture, even in circumstances just like, bad weather. And he did just that. I like it. And, to comfort people who who still suffered and trying to will build the lights from the typhoon. It's just awesome and very warm and very heartwarming, if you know what I mean. And I do appreciate his efforts to go there. I like it. I don't know. And okay, back to my experience there. So, so if I able to go, oh my god, it was raining back then, and we had to go home now. And ano lang, alay lakad lang kami. Yun lang yun. Until we got some ride on the jeepney. And we go back to here. We go from here we safely went home safely. So yeah. So that's actually the biggest experience of my life, even though that's the big con. Too many people. Anyway, sorry. Well, yeah, it's a big and wonderful, pun unintended, sorry, experience I all have seen in my entire life, and I never forget this experience. And this people visit really means to me, and it really resonates about the faith. And even though I'm no longer practicing, and not necessarily, I'm still a Catholic, but no longer doing stuff that I used to as a kid. But I still have the faith. I still have the how they call it, the things that I have when I was still active. But um this is actually a so-called once in a lifetime event, and I don't think when this is gonna be happen again. I hope so, yeah. But one of these days, that if another pope again visit here, I won't be surprised. But for now, I'm very happy to get to know about Pope Francis and the things he flex and contribute to this world. So it really means a lot. And it's just wondering, and when the news about his death really shocked me, like no, I was just, you know, and I heard when I was at, I was just scrolling. I was just, I'm open my phone. I was opening my phone, and when I found out that the Pope had died, yeah, I was in a mental state of shock. I don't know if I was just come out early at work, no, and the bell I think is just uh down from the office that I currently work in Makati City. It began to ring. It began to ring. Like, oh my god, what happened? I mentally like, hey, wait a minute. I was mentally like, oh my god, wait, what happened? Why is it ringing? Why are the bells are ringing in the church? I need to know. So when I opened my phone and I found out that the news, I was in mental state of shock and I don't know what to do. And I just got to scroll down on FB, on Twitter. I was like, I was mentally like, Pope Francis has died. Oh my god, that was sudden. And everything got, oh my word, had like, it's like, you know, everything had turned upside down. And goodness me, I don't know how to say about this sudden shock news. And I said it, okay. And I posted on my FB as his reconciling patch. So this is what happened. And I'm just flexing all the stuff and the things that he's done, all the goodness that he's done during on his 12-year pontificate and stuff, and all good stuff the Pope had ever did and commit, and during his pontificate and stuff. And I actually saw a fan art of Luce, of course, the mascot for the 2025 Jubilee year. So I thought I'm going to share this because, well, she was so sad. Couldn't say, I couldn't stop but got feeling gutted on this fan art. It really broke my heart and I want to share it. It's just really sad. And everything it has been pouring. The majority of the people are very positive and sending their condolences, and as well as a lot of people have been flexing their tributes to Pope Francis in different forms, from fan arts to music. And I thought that I'm just gonna, sorry. Um, well, it's just very unfortunate, but yeah, I'm so sad. It's really sad, and we have to say goodbye. That's not that you say we have to say goodbye to to a pope that really changed and reshape what the Catholic Church the Vatican really was. No. So wait, yeah. So the last time, actually, the last time I did this sudden that unexpected yet very heartbroken moment was 20 years ago when Pope John Paul II died. And I had it at time though, and I was in grade 5. Yeah, I was in grade 5 back in it, and I was about to turn 12 and going grade 6. And we were, if I'm not mistaken, we were in the summer break, and if I'm not mistaken, uh of course it was sad. And I'm about to turn grade 6 back in the day. And the news about the Pope John Paul II died was like, patay na siya? I was so curious back in the, as a kid, it's never very natural as a kid that asking questions if a person died, diba? But now it was different. As a, oh my god, so mentally, and now I'm a freaking adult that, is a, oh shucks, history repeats itself, you know? And, yeah, history really repeats itself. But this time, it really hits hard as an adult that that the Pope that you are appreciate so much and taking inspiration on your social advocacy had died. Oh, yeah, I cried. When I got home, I cried. No, I was crying. No, I'm not joking. I was crying. No, I was crying. No, not the whole time though, but I was crying when I got home, and while going back home, and again before the, if I'm not mistaken, before the funeral rites, and it's really very sad. I don't know how to put it in words, but yeah, we have to accept the fact that his mission on Earth is already completed, and well, is isn't nakalog na siya. So yeah, and and of course it was very sad, and but um his legacy had a lasted impact to this earth, and to all the good things that he had done, and ayun, so that's the, of course, and of course I have to tell you, because it have to be a short stiff very short one, so ayun. And of course, that was our tribute to Pope Francis. Sorry. And yeah, that was a very nice tribute to this guy who is one of those that really admire in this century. So yeah, and may he rest in peace. And but also may his legacy will go on and on and on to the future generations, so that they can be like him. Very simple, very humble, and very how I call it, a very extraordinary, being extraordinary. So yeah, and for that, we have to moving on for our special edition of Yona Asks, and we have a very simple question about. Wait, oh my gosh, shucks. Anyway, here we go. So, what are the things and gestures that you like about Pope Francis? And we have a response from FB. So, Yuri, shout out. Hello. Okay, so they say the things I like from Pope Francis, his humility and compassion shown to the Philippines in the 2015 visit. So yes, so let me tell you this. I already said that before. I have a lot of it was a huge experience, and I don't think I don't know if we're gonna have me visited by another pope in the future, but only time will tell. But for the one with Pope Francis, it was massive. It's fantastic, I'd say. And being proud of 7 million crowd was very, not very bonus though, but being part of history is something bigger than I ever expected. And I'm gonna, you know, we're gonna miss miss all the stuff. We're all missing the mass and the Saint Peter from the apostolic fathers. We're all gonna miss the flex, all the flexing, all the flexes on various charity and stuff. And of course, more importantly, we're gonna miss him calling peeps in Gaza. So yeah, we are stand for the Palestine peeps out there. Ayan. Alright. And one more thing that I almost forgot something. That one more thing I like about Pope Francis, another huge record-breaking stuff, that groundbreaking stuff, that he was the first pope to address before the U.S. Congress, and the first one to address before the G7 in the G7 summit. And he has lots of stuff that has solidarity to Ukraine and Palestine. Yeah. So and he continued doing interreligious dialogues, which was something that Pope John Paul II and I guess Benedict XVI started it. But Pope Francis was widening that the way, and he beatified and canonized I think more than a lot of saints and blesseds, including of course the former and of course Pope John the 23rd. So and he was about to canonize Cardinal Curious, but unfortunately his passing had been rather hindered that way. But with after the conclave, when the conclave is done, and we're gonna see a new pope, then of course I guess we're gonna see Cardinal Curious will be canonized by the new pope. So we have to look forward to. And yeah, anyway, all right. So there are a lot of stuff, and yeah. And that was our special edition of your Kuromatoki's Internet podcast for Pope Francis. And I hope you guys are enjoying my flexes on my experience. I mean, not only about the brief trivia about him, but also my experience on the 2015 papal visit to the Philippines. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. Alright, so on the next Your Kuromatoki's Internet podcast, and we're about to go into our regular scheduled content with the Eurovision Song Contest 2025. And that's the time all we had. Thank you very much for watching and listening. This is Yona signing out on the next, and see you all guys the next Your Kuromatoki's Internet podcast. Stay safe, stay kicking, and stay awesome always. Take care of yourselves, and goodbye.